Afternoon. This is my First Nephi cards for today. We have Mighty, 1 red aura. So this goes on a creature that you have in play. Auras can also go on to almost anything, but mostly creatures is the most common. Enchant target creature. They bolster or explore at the start of each turn. The explore mechanic is you draw a card from your deck, and if it is a land, you do something if it's a land, and if it's not a land, you get a +1/+1 counter. And then bolster gives your weakest creature a +1/+1 counter. It is a pretty good aura. Oh, almost forgot. I, Nephi, will show unto you that the tender mercies of the Lord are over all those whom he hath chosen, because of their faith, to make them mighty. First Nephi 1:20. Next one, 1 green, follow me, sorcery, a common. It's a prophecy, meaning it will activate creatures or things that you have that have the prophesy ability. So, prophecy, activate all prophesy. If you discard your last turn, you may draw. You may draw 4. So you have to wait. You won't be able to play this on turn 1. And you would also have to wait for a time where you discard. So this is a common, but it could be very good if the circumstances are met. And this picture is depicting them getting ready to leave. And it came to pass that he departed into the wilderness, and he left his home in the land of his inheritance, and his gold, and his silver, and his precious things, and took nothing with him, save it were his family, and provisions, and tents, and departed into the wilderness. First Nephi 2:4. Stone altar. I made it look like they're cooking a barbecue. I always thought that these, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I thought that the sacrifice that the ancient Hebrews would do, that they would eat some of it. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I thought that some of it had to be sacrificed and they wouldn't eat it, and it's a burnt sacrifice where they burn it all the way. But I had this idea once when I was younger, when I was reading about what this was, and I haven't gone back to this yet, but I used to think that they would sacrifice the animal, but they would eat it. So it wasn't a complete but then later on in life I read that it's symbolic to where they kill it and cook it completely and nobody eats it. I can't remember which one's true, but I always felt good thinking that they ate some of it, because that way the animal was doing kind of a dual purpose. 1, showing God thanks, and 2, feeding themselves. But this is a 1 colorless artifact, common. Per your stone altar or altars, sacrifices you make. So if you sacrifice 1 time, you can prevent 1 damage to any target. 2 sacrifices. Well, no, a sacrifice with 2 altars, you gain 2 life. a sacrifice with 3 altars, you draw a card, and a sacrifice with 4 altars, you deal 1 damage to any target. So this works per altars that you have. And it came to pass that he built an altar of stones and made an offering unto the Lord. First Nephi 2:7. Lehi's estate. Prophesy. Exert. Tap. Add 2 white or black colors to your mana pool, or mana to your mana pool. So if you own Lehi's estate and someone plays a prophecy, you can tap this and exert it to add 2 mana to your mana pool. I have it as an uncommon. I don't know how good this would be or how bad it would be. That has another ability. If this was exerted 3 times, sacrifice it for 2 treasure tokens and 2 clue tokens. Alright. So on your 6th turn, using this, you sacrifice it. And it's 6 because it doesn't untap. If you exert it, it won't untap like normal until your following turn. So it skips a turn before it untaps again. That's what exerted means. And it came to pass that he departed into the wilderness, and he left his house, and the land of his inheritance, and his gold, and his silver, and his precious things. First Nephi 2:4. Truth of the Word. 1 red mana, sorcery, common, prophecy, so it can activate all prophesy. It says all this way because the all here means you'd activate even if your enemy has prophesy. So anyone who plays prophecy can use this, and 2 people can use it. So if both of you have a creature that does prophesy, and one person plays prophecy, everybody can then use that ability. Now, if you play this and nobody has prophesy, it would stay in play waiting to be fulfilled. But the second part would work like normal. So when you play this would happen. The only reason it would be waiting in play would be for the prophecy. Draw as many cards as you drew last turn with 1 additional card. Alright. So if you played this on turn 2, you can draw 2 cards. And then if you had another one of these, you then can draw 3 cards on your next turn. And if you have another one of those on your following turn, you could draw 4 cards. Pretty good. Oh, that thou mightest be like unto this valley, firm and steadfast, and immovable, in keeping the commandments of the Lord. First Nephi 2:10. Dream. 1 blue. Sorcery. Common. Prophecy. Activates all prophesy. Scribe for each player. That means you scribe 1 for each player. You get to draw a card, look at it, and decide whether or not it goes back where you got it, or on the bottom of your graveyard, or bottom of your library. And then you can do that for every opponent in play, or every player in play. So you can look at their card and decide whether or not to leave it on top or put it back to where it came from. Behold, I have dreamed a dream, in the which the Lord hath commanded me, that thou and thy brethren shall return to Jerusalem. First Nephi 3:2. The brass plates. I really like this art, but the brass plates are right here. He's holding it in his hand, and it's kind of covered by this. So I don't know. I might have to redo this one. The idea was that he's holding it and just leaving town with him. And he's kind of keeping it underneath the cloak. Legendary artifact. It has prophesy, tap, play, and enchantment. So if you have an enchantment in your hand, this could play it if it prophesies. I don't know if this is a gold. I guess it could be if you run with heavy mana value enchantments. And then the scripture, for behold, Laban hath the record of the Jews, and also the genealogy of my forefathers, and they are engraven upon plates of brass. First Nephi 3:3. Treasurer Laban. This is supposed to depict Laban and his sword. This idea is a little bit of that Chadversity and his idea on the sword of Laban. And I tie the Nephites, a remnant of the Nephites, to the Highlanders, the Pictish warriors of the British Isles. And that some of them left and escaped and got there. And their culture, I will depict most of the Nephite culture wielding great swords. So most of my Nephites would be someone who carries swords similar to this. Legendary creature, Lawyer Heretic. 2 mana value, 1 black. He has Shroud. Enemy artifacts have upkeep 1. Alright, that's not bad. He basically curses artifacts for your enemies, to where they'd have to pay 1 to keep it in play. This would counter some decks pretty hard. For behold, Laban hath the record of the Jews, and also a genealogy of my forefathers, and they are engraven upon the plates of brass. And that's First Nephi 3:3 again. So here's First Nephi 3:3 plates of brass. This one's showing the legendary creature Laban. Greed. 4 mana value, 1 black. Enchantment. Uncommon. This is a reprint, or yeah, this would be as if Magic the Gathering reprinted their card called Greed. It does exactly what Greed does, but with the flavor coming out of First Nephi 3:25. And it came to pass that when Laban saw our property, and that it was exceedingly great, he did lust after it, insomuch that he thrust us out, and sent his servants to slay us, that he might obtain our property. The Sword of Laban. Here it is again. 3 mana value. Legendary artifact equipment. Rare. Both this and the equipped may not be sacrificed. Equipped creature also has double strike. Alright, whoever wields this can't be sacrificed. Which sometimes black makes you sacrifice creatures. So this would protect him from sacrifices. It has prophesy, tap, equipped. So you can't equip the Sword of Laban unless someone plays a prophecy card. The hilt thereof was of pure gold, and the workmanship thereof was exceedingly fine. And I saw that the blade thereof was of the most precious steel. First Nephi 4:9. I guess I have the date down here. About 600 to 592 BC, that's taken from the scriptures. We'll have time for one more. Delivered to justice. 3 mana value, 2 colorless, 1 red, sorcery, uncommon, prophecy, so this activates all prophesy. If you played this and you had the Sword of Laban, you can then tap this and equip it to a creature. If you played this, the prophecy. Take target equipment and equip it to target creature. Then target creature fights another target creature. And I better stop there. Thanks for watching.